keeping reptiles or breeding reptiles is not all puppies and rainbows. Sometimes it's really hard. Last week, I took a little break. I went for 9 days to Alberta, Canada. I went to Jasper National Park, Edmonton. The idea was to go herping, find some cool things that aren't around here, because I like making those types of videos. And it turns out, if you go to Jasper National Park, all you see is beautiful mountains and beautiful sights and lakes and marmots. So if you like big furry creatures, it's a good place. But otherwise, I didn't really find much. This video isn't about that trip, although I will put one up for Patreon if you like. This video is about what I found when I got home, because it really sucked. Now, first of all, I'm not saying that you're gonna have a horrific experience if you decide to take a vacation or go for a break, go somewhere else, leave your house for a few days, nothing like that. I made a video right here about animals that do really well on their own and how to actually go on vacation, how to set up someone to come and take care of them, things like that. But although I did everything right, and although people can do everything right, horrific things can still sometimes happen. And that's what this video is about. So just briefly, I'll make it very quick. I went for 9 days. I had someone come and check in. And part of the checking in on my reptiles was open the incubator, which I had some ball pythons incubating in, although I didn't tell anybody. It was on Patreon a little while ago, because I wanted it to be a surprise. I wanted to do a, hey, look at what I did this summer, and have a bunch of beautiful babies, and that was it. I didn't expect to come home after 9 days and smell what I smelled, because an animal that has died, it starts to smell basically immediately if it's a reptile. Snakes start to decompose basically immediately after death. And don't worry, this video isn't going to be all doom and gloom or anything like that. It's just simply, I think there's something that could be learnt from this experience.
Welcome back to Getting Learnt with Ricky.
And although people like to keep it hush-hush and people like to talk only about the good things, there are negative things about keeping reptiles, and part of the idea of this channel is to be completely honest, even if it's a little bit difficult to talk about, which is what this is. And if you breed reptiles and you think it's gonna be all kitties and puppies and rainbows and you're gonna get rich, none of those things are gonna happen likely. Way more likely, you're going to spend a lot more money than you ever make at the very beginning, especially if you keep it as a hobby rather than trying to make it a full-fledged business, which is where I am. I breed reptiles so that my reptile hobby is free. That's basically it. And even then, I don't even really get that far. And what we have here is a clutch of normal baby ball pythons. Now, if you're asking, why the heck would you breed normal ball pythons? Well, I didn't on purpose. And if, by the way, if you're new to snakes and new to reptiles, normal ball pythons as babies go for like $5 to $25, maybe $50. So you're gonna spend way more money on the incubation, the pairing, and like you're making no money. It's gonna cost you money to do this. So what I was trying to do is make het albinos and albinos. And here's what I mean. An albino, which is what Pikachu is, and I put him to Medusa, and she was sold to me as het albino 4 years ago. I've tried to breed him, I could never get him to breed. Finally this year I got 10 beautiful eggs, and it turns out whoever sold them to me either lied, and she's not het albino, or I got the worst luck in the world, because I was supposed to get, on average, 50% albinos. So, no more genetics class, all of these are het albino, so if you decide to buy one, they'll be on the website. If they're not on the website, they're not available yet, but keep an eye out. Then these will be het albinos, 100%. Anyway, get to the freaking point, Adam. I walked in the house and I smelled something not super pungent. So I knew that I fed these animals before I left, and I was thinking, okay, so maybe it's a rat. Maybe I left a rat, that frozen thawed rat, and one of the animals didn't eat it, and I mean, it does happen. Sometimes they bury it in the substrate and you don't find it. So I went downstairs and I checked all of my animals in the reptile room, and I didn't smell anything, which is awesome. I mean, obviously you don't want to smell dead animals when you get home, and I made sure I did everything in my power to make sure that there was no issues when I got home, that everyone had a fine time while I was away, and I think that they did. So the bad part, I walked into the next room, which is where the laundry room. I always keep the incubator out of the reptile room, and I knew immediately when I was opening that something was going to be wrong. And I did. I opened up the incubator, and I'm not going to show the dead animal, but there was a snake that had crawled right out of the egg. And by the way, it was day 53, the day we got back, which if you watch egg cutting videos, normally is when ball python breeders cut eggs because the animals are fully formed. I personally don't cut eggs anymore, but I knew that there was a chance that there'd be some pipping going on. Pipping is when they stick their little heads out of the eggs. Oop, sorry, buddy. And when I went down there, almost all the eggs had pipped. There was 3 left that had not, and there was 2 moldy eggs and 1 egg that the animal was almost completely out, and it was no longer alive. Now, it definitely didn't smell great, but it didn't smell like it was there for more than like a day. So my guess is the person who came down and checked on the animals and let the air in, which would have been on Friday, and we got home on Sunday, that animal likely was born on Saturday, and for whatever reason, there was definitely enough air, it didn't make it. Now, I'm not gonna show it. I'm not gonna show a dead animal on this channel. I don't do that sort of thing, but all the other animals that pipped are fine. So like this baby, ooh, hello, I didn't even see you pop out of there. See, my favorite thing about animals too is like you can see the little head. He was completely in his egg when I started filming this. So it was 1 in the morning on Sunday, last Sunday, I guess if you're watching this on Thursday, and I had to cut the other 3 eggs. Generally, I don't cut eggs, but if all of the animals have pipped and it looks like they pipped at least 24 hours before, I will cut the other eggs very carefully, and there's a video right here on how I do that. And I wanted to set up a video, but I mean, I didn't want to set up the lighting, everything. It was 1 in the morning. I just wanted to make sure the animals got out safe because we already had an animal that didn't make it. And then I did cut open the 2 dead eggs. One was moldy and the other one was like deflated. So all the other eggs were fine. Why this one deflated, I have no idea. But there was a fully formed, but like emaciated looking snake inside of there. So I'm not gonna show it because it wasn't alive. And the other one just didn't have a snake in it at all. It was completely just a dead egg. So that is the sad part about breeding reptiles, is even if you get 10 eggs, it doesn't mean you get 10 babies. And I want to say something too about the genetics, because most people would be really bummed out if they thought they were going to get some albinos or whatever they were going to get, and they didn't get what they thought. I'm not. I don't care. I don't do this for money. I don't do this to make money at all. If I make $0 and have to spend money, it's fine. The reason that I breed reptiles is because A, it's enriching for the keeper, which basically is what we're doing here, right? Keeping reptiles is for us, but also for the animal, because if we can get more captive bred animals out there and things that are in high demand, like albinos, then they're going to sell and they're going to be great pets for somebody. Now, the reason I don't care, even though it's going to be hard to move these for basically everybody who breeds them, because I mean, normal ball pythons, they don't really have a high market value and they're not sought after. Just the difference is I'm very lucky, privileged, and honored to have an audience big enough where I'll be able to sell these no problem. I don't recommend breeding normals on purpose because, I mean, they're hard to move, but I'm lucky and they're gonna move just fine. And that's why I don't care. I mean, I wasn't planning to get rich anyway. The ones that I have are super healthy, and I actually like normal ball pythons. I think they're completely underrated and beautiful animals. Okay, so what was the point of this video in the first place? The point is, don't get discouraged if you're breeding reptiles and you don't get the odds that you were looking for. And animals, sometimes they won't make it out of the egg won't hatch. If the egg does hatch, they can die in the first 24 hours because just failure to thrive. Sometimes they won't eat, sometimes they'll just die randomly. Because just like humans, animals, babies or adults can be sick and you don't know it. The difference is a human or a dog or whatever, we can say something, yelp, make a noise, cry, whatever, to inform somebody that we're sick. Reptiles oftentimes, although they can show symptoms of course, oftentimes they don't. And in general, animals shouldn't show, or they try not to show, illness or weakness because it makes them easy targets for predators. Now, obviously in captivity, these guys don't have to worry about predators, but though that instinct does carry on in captivity. This was very different than my usual content. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please hit the like, please hit subscribe. I would love to show more egg videos, probably happier than this, of getting really cool clutches. These babies are super duper cute, so if nothing else, leave a like for their cuteness, I guess. And I want to say thank you. If you watched the video, if you hit like, if you hit subscribe, I really appreciate you. And a special thank you to the Patreon supporters. You guys are freaking amazing. Without you, videos like this would be a lot more difficult to do. I appreciate the opportunity to put it early on the platform. You guys get discounts on the merch, behind the scenes, a whole bunch of stuff, and I shot a short video about Pickles and Jasper. That'll be on Patreon too. For as little as $1 a month, you can be part of the Patreon family. I'd really support it, or appreciate it. What am I trying to say here? Okay, we're done here. Because I do videos twice a week, that means I'll see you on Monday.